everyone, my name is AJ, and I don't have a good intro yet. Today, I'll be redesigning Lilith for my Hasbin AU, the bed and breakfast for former baddies. Disclaimer, this is not a fixing video, I don't think I'm better than the original artist, this is all just for fun, so don't take it too seriously, alright? Okay, cool. So, those who have been with me for a while probably know that I've already designed Lilith once before, but my design was, not good. She was featured as a minor part of the Lucifer redesign. I didn't give her much thought because at the time I really didn't like that she existed. I was under the impression that she was one of VivziePop's OCs, and I hated how her inclusion affected Adam and his backstory. I only found out after making that video that she originated from either a Hebrew myth or Mesopotamian demonology. There's a little bit of gray area there, it wasn't very clear when I looked it up. I am curious how much people actually believe in Lilith's existence. Like, do Jews think she's as real as the devil, or is she like a bedtime story? Or is it like somewhere in the middle? Let me know down in the comments, I'm very curious how much I'm allowed to disrespect this. I'm joking, by the way. Please don't be mad at me. Anyway, let's talk design. Lilith is described as being associated with a specific type of bird and some other type of animal that I forgot even though I just read about it. I ignored that. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to make Lilith into a beast. I dislike it when demons and monsters just look like regular people but with horns and a tail and a weird skin color. I think that route for demons is a little boring. Besides that, I like drawing monsters. I've made this criticism of Hasbin Hotel before, where all of the girls just kind of look like slightly strange girls, and Lilith is kind of the worst about this because she's just a regular human woman but with horns. Like, her skin color isn't even weird or anything. That's literally the only weird thing about her is that she's got a set of cosplay horns on. I really don't like her design. She looks really boring. She's supposed to be queen of... Even for just a regular human woman, I think she looks a little plain. She's supposed to be the queen of hell, but she doesn't look the part in any way. The crown, hair, and face are all lovely. The problem is her outfit. The outfit sucks. It's just a regular prom dress. I'm really disappointed. It makes her look like a background character. I do like that her horns are similar to Adam's in terms of shape and size, though. I think that's a fun detail, even if it was unintentional. So yeah, I really wanted to do something different. Last time I tried to do a beast design with Sarah, it didn't go well and I had to ditch it, but since then I have remembered a really good technique for how to do beasts. What you're seeing right now is a technique I learned from a concept artist years ago that I had forgotten for a really long time. In this technique, you block out the main form with black and then go over it with progressively lighter shades of gray until you've got a pretty good idea of what's going on with the animal's form. Then I went over that in my usual style of sketching and then the colors. Anyway, since I hated her original design so much, I used my old design for her as my reference. Not that mine's much better, let's be honest. I was referencing Maleficent a lot for my first try, and I wanted to keep some of those elements the same. The face and the armor had to stay the same. The animal I decided to mix her with is a termite queen. One of Lilith's punishments in the original myth was that 100 of her children would die every day. In order for her to have any offspring that make it to adulthood, she would have to birth a ridiculous amount of babies every single day. A single termite queen in her prime can lay 30,000 eggs a day. Of course, termites only get 2 years maximum. I would imagine that Lilith's biological children would have a similar problem. Each generation after gets a longer and longer lifespan. Lilith in the original myth is said to be the mother of a great many demons. My Lilith will be the same. Despite all the odds, she's mother to all of the hellborn species. The less a demon is related to Lilith, the longer their lifespans are, making imps, the most recent species, the shortest lived and least powerful. Lilith is also responsible for creating the bodies of any sinner under the age of 18. Lucifer gets to torment the adults in any way he wants, but the children are for Lilith. Lilith always creates them without the ability to feel pain and intense defense mechanisms to keep them safe from the more unsavory sinners. These defense mechanisms start to wear off after said child's mind has existed for at least 18 years, but sometimes they stick around. The inability to feel pain never quite goes away. I think this is a good time to talk about the backstory I've been avoiding. Even in my own brain, I don't want to make Lilith Adam's first wife. She is not a part of my religion, and I don't feel super good about anything to do with her, honestly. I'm gonna stick with my idea that I had in Lucifer's video, but with a few modifications. Adam and Lilith were originally selected to be the first two people. Lucifer was jealous of Adam's position and tried to push him out of it by seducing Lilith. His plan backfired, though. Rather than proving that Adam was the inferior man, Lilith's preference for Lucifer and Adam's indifference to her proved that Lilith wasn't a perfect candidate for first woman. Instead, Adam was granted permission to pick his own partner to go to Earth with. He picked Eve. Afterwards, Lucifer and Lilith both worked together to gather up an army and rebelled. All of this takes place before the first two people were ever created, by the way. This is all happening in heaven. Lucifer and Lilith, after the fall, do not have a happy relationship. They both view love as being kind of transactional in nature. Neither of them are loyal to each other. They don't have very much in common. The only way that they know how to bond over anything is through a hatred of a common enemy, that enemy being all of heaven and humanity alike. Spoilers for Season 1 of Hazbin Hotel, by the way. We see at the end of Season 1 that Lilith has been living in heaven, presumably since she disappeared. My Lilith has been gone for at least 200 years by the time of the Airbnb, which is much longer than the 7 years originally stated in the show. But why? Why did she disappear? Well, 300,000 years is a really long time to hold a grudge. Lilith's wore off over time, Lucifer's didn't. I think that what happened is she had a meeting with heaven without anyone else's knowledge, and the seraphim granted her mercy. Lucifer was never intended to be one of the souls to go down to Earth as a human, but Lilith was. There were two schools of thought in the courtroom. There was Emily's side of mercy that thought that she should be released from hell since she had never been born, and thus never learned right from wrong correctly. The other side was Sarah's side that thought that Lilith's punishment should be upheld. There was also the issue that if Lilith was allowed a second chance at life, so should every other human soul that fell with Lucifer before birth. They ultimately came to a compromise. They sent Lilith to live in Eden. If Lilith could prove that she could be perfectly obedient to heaven's every whim for 1,000 years, she would be granted a birth, and so would every other human soul that fell with Lucifer. This doesn't apply to all human souls, only the ones that were never born. By the way, none of this changes Charlie's story at all. She's still half imp, and if you want to know more about that, I have a playlist with all of my redesigns in it. I also have an alternate timeline fanfic called An Arrangement Was Made for you to listen to while I work on the Bed and Breakfast for Former Baddies. That's all I have for today. Look at this cool fan art. If you want to send me your fan art, join my Discord and drop it in the fan art channel. A humongous thank you to my financial supporters, JRDS, Mercer Scott Holt, Stephen Drake, Jay Draws, and Silent Savvy. Thank you for paying for my groceries. Commission me, bye.